What's up guys, welcome back to another Warhammer Tacticus video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the minimum character requirements for clearing all the base campaigns. Alright, so let's just jump right into it. For the first campaign Indomitus, use the Imperial units and you need to have Varo, Certus, and Bellator on your team. Varo and Certus, I both kept them at Bronze 1 and they weren't really that important. I mostly kept them in the background as my main carry unit Bellator did most of the work. I had Bellator at Bronze 3 with the level 26 active, which is the max for the rare rarity. Also in a lot of the missions you could take 2 additional Imperial units with you, so I took Commissar Yarrick at Bronze 2 with around a level 20 active, as well as Vindicta or Incisus. Overall, this campaign is pretty easy, but if you don't have any silver units, the last stages will be kind of difficult and you will have to retry them a bunch of times to get the 3-star. So if you want to clear this campaign super easily, I would recommend just investing a little more into Bellator and getting him the silver 1, but you don't need to have any silver units to fully clear this campaign. Next is the Indomitus Mirror, and use the Necrons. You need to have Makotep, Emospec, and Aleph Null. Makotep and Emospec, I just kept at Bronze 2. I just needed them to be tanky enough to survive a shot from Certus. And Aleph Null, who's the main carry, I had at Silver 1 with the level 29 active and a level 20 passive. There's only 2 other optional units for that campaign, and it's Tutmos and Anufet. Anufet's really strong and will really help you clear the campaign, but he's also an epic character, so you might not have him for a while. And Tutmos is super weak, and I definitely regret investing in this guy. He's more of a liability than anything, and he's super squishy and will always get one shot by Certus. For the last boss, Calgar, which is by far the hardest fight in this entire campaign, I also had Anufet, who is at Bronze 3 with the level 26 active. If you don't happen to have Anufet, I would recommend just getting up Makotep and Emospec both to Silver 1 so they're tanky enough to do some damage in the Calgar stage. Next up is Fall of Cadia, and use Chaos units. You need Harkin, Archamados, and Angrax. I had Angrax and Harkin just at Bronze 3, Angrax with a level 20 passive, and Harkin with an active level 20. Archamados I had at Silver 1 with a level 26 active and a level 20 passive. Archamados is the real carry for this campaign with his bloodletters. I would definitely recommend focusing more on his passive than I did, because his active, when you kill the unit, will stop summoning the bloodletters, and if it's a little bit under leveled, you'll be able to spawn more bloodletters before the enemy dies, which will soak up more damage from the turrets. You also get the option to add 2 additional Chaos units for a lot of the missions, and I just used Malletus because I didn't have Rotbone at the time. I had him at just Bronze 2. He's not super useful for killing stuff, but he's super tanky and can soak up a lot of damage. If you have Rotbone, I would definitely recommend on focusing him because he's a super good unit and will also really help you 3-star the campaign, as he could heal all of your Chaos units, and he could also revive adjacent units the first time they die. Next is Fall of Cadia Mirror, and use Imperial units. You need Thaddeus, Cut Skoden, and Sybil. Sybil I just kept at Bronze 1 and left her in the background so she wouldn't take any damage. Cut Skoden's pretty decent, so I got him to Bronze 2 with a level 20 active. And Thaddeus is a really great damage dealer, and I had him at Bronze 3, also with the level 20 active. You can get pretty lucky with his active sometimes and kill a bunch of enemies at once. But the main carry for this campaign, because it's an Imperial campaign, is just Bellator. You could take him into pretty much every single mission, and you've probably already invested in him a lot for the Indomitus campaign, so I already had Bellator at Silver 1 with a level 26 active, and he just carried that entire campaign for me. Next is the Octarius campaign, and use the Orcs. As I said in my beginner's guide, I don't really recommend doing this campaign right now as the Orcs are super weak, but they're getting a rework which is going to make them a lot better in the future. But if you do want to do this campaign, you need Boss Golgorts, Gibascraps, and Snappereka. Snappereka is really weak, and I just kept him at Bronze 1 and left him in the background so he wouldn't take any damage. Gibascraps is the most important unit for this campaign, and leveling up his active ability. I got this all the way up to level 29, and the Grot Tanky Summons is super tanky and does a ton of damage and will pretty much solo the entire mission for you while you just keep everyone else in the background. So I had Gibascraps just at Bronze 1, but just pumped up his active as far as I could get it. Boss Golgorts, I got up to silver 1. I thought he'd be a little bit more useful with his passive and being able to kill 2 enemies a turn, but he's still super weak even at silver 1, so I wouldn't really recommend focusing on this guy as much as I did. Instead, I would recommend focusing on Snotflaga, who's one of the 2 optional units for this campaign. He just got reworked and is actually pretty good now, and with his passive and his active, he spawns summons that can be useful for soaking up damage. The last optional unit is Tank Smasher, and even if you have this guy, I wouldn't invest in him at all as he's super weak and is only a liability. Next up is the Octarius Mirror, and use Imperial units. You need Sword Brother Godswill, Brother Burchard, and Ancient Thoriad. I haven't done this campaign yet myself, but from what I've seen, I know that Brother Burchard is the carry for this campaign. You should get him up to either Bronze 3 or Silver 1 and focus on his passive so he can kill multiple enemies at once. Brother Godswill is a decent PvP character, but he's not super useful in the campaign, and I would just get him up to Bronze 1 so he could survive. Ancient Thoriad is a decent buffer, but also not super useful on his own, so I'd also get him up to Bronze 1 just so he's able to survive. And just like the Fall of Cadia Mirror, this is also an Imperial campaign, so I would just bring in the old Imperial units that you've already focused on, such as Bellator and Thaddeus, which are already super strong, and you should have around Silver 1 already. And with those 2 characters, I think this campaign should be a walk in the park. Last is the Saim-Hann campaign, where you use the Eldari. You need Calandus, Athena, and Eldryon. You should already have Eldryon decently leveled up, as he's the best character in the game with his passive ability, Doom. I had him at Silver 1 with a passive level 29. Next is Athena, who I had at Bronze 2 with a level 15 passive. She's the decent buffer, but is also pretty squishy. Calandus, I also had at Bronze 2 with the level 15 passive. He's a really good range damage dealer and has a great counterattack and also Overwatch. My main strategy for this campaign was to just hide Athena behind Eldryon and Calandus and let Calandus counterattack while Eldryon would take most of the damage and be able to kill up to 2 enemies each turn. The 2 optional units for this campaign are Mugen Ra and Jane Zar, which are both legendaries, so if you have them, I would definitely recommend using them as they'll make this campaign a bit easier for you. For the Saim-Hann mirror, use Chaos units, and you need Yazagor, Toph, and Abraxas. Abraxas is definitely the carry for this campaign, and he's super powerful with his active ability that can pump out a ton of summons in 1 turn. I had his active at level 26, and his rank at Bronze 3. Toph is a super tanky unit. I had him at Bronze 1, but you don't even need him that high for him to be able to survive the entire campaign. Yazagor is just useful for his active ability to reset Abraxas' summons, and I had him at Bronze 1 just so he would be able to survive. This is also a Chaos campaign, so you can use 2 additional Chaos units. I took Archamatos because he's super useful for his summons, and he's also a Psyker, which helps out Abraxas. And Angrax, who I already had decently leveled up from the Fall of Cadia campaign. So overall, this campaign should be super easy, especially because you get to use the Fall of Cadia units that you've already focused on, and you have Abraxas, who's one of the strongest characters in the entire game. Alright, so I hope that helped you guys out with knowing the basic requirements for clearing all the base campaigns. You can get away with having your characters a little bit underleveled from what I showed, but it'll take a lot more energy on specifically hard fights to get the 3-star. I'm still working through the elite campaigns right now, so I'm not sure the requirements for clearing those, but I will update you guys as I progress. As a general rule of thumb, you want bronze and silver characters for clearing base campaigns, and you're going to want silver and gold characters for clearing elite campaigns, and for some of the more difficult elite campaigns like the Indomitus Mirror and Octarius, you're going to want some diamond characters as well. Alright, that does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this helped you clearing the campaigns. If you want to help me out, please drop a like and subscribe. You could also use my refer a friend code right here, which will help me make future Tacticus content. I'm still working through making the Xenos character guide now, but I'll have that up shortly, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.